Hi, travelers. Tara here. This is going to be a transition of power reading. Last night, I had somebody contact me on my channel about my post-election reading, November 14th, in which apparently I kind of predicted what was going to happen with the I don't even know what to call it. That happened yesterday at the Capitol, all that foolishness that happened yesterday with the people coming in. The one thing you need to know about me is once I close the cards, I literally have no idea. I don't remember what I said. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even remember that reading until my friend reached out to me on YouTube and she goes, "This is happening right now." So I went back and took a look at it and it gave me chills because I heard it coming out of my mouth, but I didn't even remember the reading. And I said that I was going to go back and revisit that issue, and I'm not sure if I did. My last notes show that I have a reading on December 6th of 2020. I think that's right. And I'm not even sure. I think I did that reading, but I'm going to post those links up to the November 14th and then the December 6th, if I can find it, reading in the description box so that you can see it. Okay. So after I did all of that, and I said, I'm hearing that he's going to, after all is said and done, he's claiming he's going to obey the rules of the 25th. Of the peaceful transition of power. And he's going to leave on the 20th. However, for those of you who don't know how the Constitution works, I heard something last night around, I don't know, I want to say maybe 6:30 on MSNBC, and I heard Rachel Maddow say, Vice President Pence called out the troops. And immediately flags went off for me. I was in the military, and so there is a process by which troops can be called out. And what you need to know is that under the Constitution, particularly when it comes to federal property, only the president has the power to activate troops. Okay? Nobody else can do that. So for VP Pence to activate the troops and then call for the Congress to be reconvened, this is an informal 25th Amendment. I want you guys to be really clear on this. Because Pence took control, activated the troops, got them into place where they needed to be. When that occurred, that was a unspoken agreement that 45 is no longer able to discharge his duties. Now, I woke up this morning and, you got lots of people calling for him to be removed. They're talking about impeachment, but I don't know if it's Representative Kinzinger, Adam. I don't know if he's a senator. I think he's a representative Republican who is actively calling for the 25th Amendment. So as I've been telling my mom this whole time and telling y'all, he gonna leave that White House. 45 is gonna leave that White House. Now, whether he chooses to leave under his own power or whether he chooses to go kicking and screaming, you can best believe he's gonna be leaving there on 12:05 p.m. January 20th, 2021. Nevertheless, he says one thing and he does another, as we well know. And so I pulled some cards on that. And this was last night at 10:45 p.m. And the question is, what does the next 14, to 16 days portend for America? And using my, I love my new boyfriend, Nostradamus. I just love him. So using my Lost Tarot of Nostradamus, which is not to be confused with the Golden Nostradamus cards that I use. That's the Golden Nostradamus Oracle cards. This is the tarot, the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. Using the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus, I pulled 3 cards with an overall energy. So let me turn the camera around and show you what I have. But there's an additional card that I pulled because the last card in the original book, and these cards, let me back up. This particular deck is based upon an actual book that Nostradamus wrote. He has these drawings in them. And so they these creators took those drawings out of that book and have created a deck. So the last image has, well, I'll show you in a minute. So let me turn the camera around. Okay. So the cards that I received, overall, the 5 of Moons. And I want you to notice something. Look how long his hair is there. And he's looking at this book. And in it, there's a tree. What has been throwing me about this card is that the phases of the moon are backwards. Whenever you see a moon phase diagram like this, the full moon is always over here, the new moon is over there. So to me, this appears to be that it's backwards, and I don't know why that is. Also, I have not been able to discover what this symbol is there. I don't know what that is. That's some kind of ancient, let me see if I can turn my thing on. That's some kind of ancient, let me turn my lamp on so that you can hopefully get a better view and not such a big glare. So I was looking at this all night. I have a my little magnifying glass, and I have not been able to identify what that symbol is and why it is placed where it is. Even if I turn it upside down, that makes more sense to me. And we see that the orbits for Venus, Mercury, Ceres and Proserpina, and Jupiter, and I can't read the other one, are present, okay? And so that was the overall energy that I pulled. For the actual spread, I have the 6 of Suns, the Lover's card, which is a very interesting card, and finally, the Judgment. Now, what I was saying about this card is in the original book contained this image is with this image. As a matter of fact, this image is placed here on the original image. So I went ahead and pulled that card out because I'm not exactly sure what this card is trying to tell me. Now, I'm going to say to you, I don't understand how my intuition works. I just know that it does, okay? And so you're going to hear a lot of I don't know in this because I really don't know. I haven't been shown or told. I haven't heard that information, and I can't really pin it down and get a beat on it. So if you're disappointed with that, I'm going to apologize to you up front. It is not my intention to be vague and enigmatic. It is literally that my guides have not presented me with that information at this point in time. So, looking at these cards here, and I went to look up the quatrains. The 6 of Suns, and it's just a big old jumble in here because I was making notes. So let me go to the book. The 6 of Suns, the quatrain is, the large force will be driven from the road. The large force will be driven from the road. Scarcely much further will it be pursued. This is the upright interpretations of triumph, domestic and family life, housekeeping, a messenger, good news, and progress. However, the reverse speaks to infidelity, treachery, disloyalty, betrayal, delays, and bad service. There's something about these 6 stars, and I'm not exactly sure if these 6 stars relate to 6 of the EU countries in the European Union, okay? But do make note of those. 6 stars. 6. It's kind of like the pattern is repeated here. But it is this Lover's card that I found to be very compelling. It doesn't fit the actual quatrain, and it took me forever to find the quatrain because it's not listed in this book. In this book, Century 6 only goes up to quatrain number 43. but it kept listing Century 6 Quatrain 83. So I spent 40 minutes on the internet looking for that. I finally found it. And it says, warm wind, counsel, tears, and timidity. At night, assailed in bed without arms. Great oppression and calamity. The wedding song is reduced to tears and laments. Now, in the book, here, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but just go with me here, would you? In the book, the way what they put to this is, from great oppression and calamity, the wedding contract transforms tears and sighs. And as I was saying, that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to get back to that. But that's the second card. The third card, Judgment. And it says, sights will come to expose the land. Monumental urns will be opened. Now, this is very interesting to me because upright, it says change, renewal, judgment, self-assessment, strong opinions, taking things into account, outcome, promotion, decision, and or restoration. The reverse says stasis, postponement, weakness, disappointment, procrastination, alienation, delay, and indecision. And I think, basically, I feel that both of those interpretations, both the positive and the negative, are true at the same time. A lot of people have difficulty understanding that two things that are completely opposite can be true at the same time, but this is a true thing, okay? But because this figure in Nostradamus' original book is placed on this one, I pulled a card for it as well to see if I could get any more information. And it says, he will leap to such high-flown deeds, he will have no equal in the hierarchy. So we're looking at something being exposed and opened. And someone leaping to such high-flown deeds that they will have no equal in the hierarchy. The upright is separation, departure, flight, distance, journey, abandonment, evasion, and moving into the unknown. Reversed, disunity, misunderstanding, estrangement, dissension, unexpected changes. Kind of the same energy, no? This overall energy here of the Five of Moons was quite compelling. They will offer themselves to Luna within the quince, where they will be taken and placed in a strange land. Now, they keep referring to they. And I looked up quince, and basically it's either a fruit or it's a tree, right? So here in the description, it speaks about the tree symbolizing a family tree, which may offer hope to the present members of a family through consideration of past events. Oh, my camera. I don't know what you heard. But what I was saying was that the description of this card indicates that this tree represents a family tree. And where past events might hold a clue to the future. But as you can see, that person who's there looking at it has been there for quite a long time. Their hair has grown so long. Whenever I look at this, it reminds me of how they say, oh, what was his name? He was a guy that Howard Hughes, when they finally found Howard Hughes, he was mad, decrepit, unkempt, long hair, long fingernails. They eventually found broken needles in his arms in different places all over his body where he'd been injecting drugs and medication. He was a complete germaphobe and a recluse. So I kind of get the sense that what that card is telling me at this particular moment is that this is where 45 finds himself. He finds himself in a situation in which he's extremely isolated. And the only people he knows, per se, that he can count on will be his family members, his children. And I don't know when the last time I was, but I keep hearing that they're going to go to Israel. Okay. But now after this, I don't know. You know, people don't want usurpers and coup makers coming into their country, but even dictators can gain exile in other countries. So, you know, that remains to be seen. This Six of Sons here, the larger force will be driven from the road. Scarcely much further will it be pursued. I do feel that this has to do with them quelling all of that foolishness that happened yesterday. But make no mistake, they are not done. Okay? They are not done. But then that brings me to this odd Lovers card. And the way they have the quatrain written for the lovers, again, from great oppression and calamity, the wedding contract transforms tears and sighs. If I were going to try to give you an indication of that, I feel that what that means is that tensions, feelings, thoughts, and beliefs, there's still plans happening behind the scenes. And these plans may carry out or go even after he leaves office, okay? In other words, what you're looking at is a group of people who maybe their numbers will become reduced down, but that's going to give them a better operating field, because the less people, the less chaos can become involved. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. The Judgment card, I feel, is speaking about two things. I do feel that at some point, 45 is going to be held accountable in some way. That's first and foremost. Judgment is not only about discernment and or observation, but it is just that. It can be related to legal issues, and most certainly karmic issues, karmic payments, karmic debts, karmic retribution. And so I do feel that that is the case. I feel that with the size here coming in, he's made enough money to fight. So I would not expect to ever see him go inside of a jail. But I think that for him, what is most important is the way he's going to be viewed. And so this could be the idea that even, let's say, if they can't send him to jail, right? Let's say they don't even impeach him. Let's say that they don't even give him the 25th Amendment. He goes through the 20th and he leaves under his own. Karmic justice and karmic judgment will forever write in the history books what kind of leader and person that he is. Not that he was, that he is. I also feel that he's going to become further isolated after he leaves office, no matter how he goes. What struck me the most was that I got a timing out of this. This card, this represents Moon in Sagittarius. And so I was looking, thank God, Jessica Adams sent me her lovely ephemeris. The date is, where's my book? I have it because I can't remember it. May 26, 2021, where we will have a full moon solar eclipse at 5 Sagittarius. Now, eclipses hide things. There's a cover up. There's something that we're not going to see. There's something that we're not going to know. Just as when the Great American Eclipse occurred, was that 2017? It fell across America. It was the year after we elected Donald Trump. And we were not, I think many of us, and I was aware of who he was way back in the 80s because I lived in New York for a little while. And so I knew what kind of person he was. and I knew what his reputation was. But for the rest of the country, they only saw what they thought they knew through that TV show, The Apprentice, okay? So there was a huge cover-up. I also think this relates to other things that have happened during this administration. So I want you to mark down May 26, 2021, all right? There's also something else that I'm picking up, and I don't know if you guys know who Merrick Garland was. Merrick Garland was supposed to get a seat on the Supreme Court as an Obama nominee, and the Republicans held that seat open, and he did not get it. Number 46, Mr. Biden, has just announced that he is picking Mr. Merrick Garland to be his AG. I feel that 45 is not done. And I don't think he's going to necessarily leave peacefully. I think he's going to go peacefully, but he won't be leaving, if that makes any sense. Okay? He is definitely going to be, and particularly with all of the money that he's raised from these lies. And remember, all of my readings kept saying the message of the faked election rings throughout the city. And almost every reading that I pulled, that card kept coming up. And so I think this is going to hang in the air for much longer than people. Don't assume that with the new administration coming in, that's going to be the end of it. It won't be. This is going to be lingering around, and I'm going to say at least until May. There are other things to come as well, other discoveries. I do feel that there is not a threat of violence for the next 14 to 16 days. This threat of violence is going to be coming afterwards and for a long time. There have been forces that have been activated in this country that are not going to go away. They may go back underground, but make no mistake, they will be striking again in different places. Not only did they break into the Capitol building yesterday, but they also left pipe bombs at the RNC headquarters and the DNC headquarters. And I feel that all of those Republicans last night who stood up during the vote and said they don't want to continue with the objections are now targets. And something else that I don't know if anybody saw, and I don't know what news sources that you watch, but there was something that came up because I was flicking back and forth between 3 different channels trying to get everything yesterday while it was occurring. And so I think it was on CNN. One of the reporters kind of broke in and said his source had told him that the people were actually not just coming to break into the Capitol, but they were coming in specifically to snatch up VP Pence. So now what has happened is all of those people who have been turning a blind eye and a blind ear and not saying anything about all of the foolishness and craziness that 45 has been perpetrating on the country, and indeed not just on the country but the world. Other countries have been affected by all the antics that he's pulled over his term. Those people are now targets. And I feel that this is going to continue, but it's going to become like real terrorism. And I don't have another term for what real terrorism is, but it's going to become real terrorism. And this is going to last for some time. Those Republicans are now that they've opposed 45, are now on the hit list. And I don't know if some of you guys have seen the way they've targeted people, for just doing their job. If the president says their name, then they go stand outside their house and they get their phone numbers and they text and send emails and just complete mayhem. So expect for that to ramp up. What does Merrick Garland have to do with this? I really don't know, but I do feel that he's going to have some role in it. And I don't know if that date, May 26, 2021, will reveal something for us, as if it might be closing out a cycle on an eclipse, even though the Great American Eclipse was in the sign of Leo. Interestingly, and this is what totally blew me away, when I got that message, Moon in Sagittarius and the eclipse, and I'm thinking that that's what this symbol is, because right underneath it are the Latin words natus illuminata. And I looked it up. I wrote it down someplace. It doesn't make any sense to me, but between those two words, let me get my little pencil. Right there. That's the North Node in this card. And the full moon solar eclipse at 5 Sagittarius, May 26, 2021, conjuncts the North Node. So I don't think it's a coincidence that this card, simply touching each other, speaks about a conjunction. And I honestly feel that this is telling me that that's, in other words, X marks the spot. So I'm going to leave this out here. You know, I wish I had more information. Just know that I think he's up to some more tricks. I can't say to you what is going to happen, but I honestly feel that even if he leaves peacefully and under his own power, there is going to be hell to pay for as long as that man has breath in his body and the money to put his message out there. What I kept saying last night, and I got a horrible feeling, the vision that kept coming was him with his mouth open and just blackness pouring out of it. I mean, I don't get spooked easily, but I'm pretty spooked because I don't know what this actually means. And maybe as we move along and we get closer to January 20th, more will be revealed to me. I don't know. If so, I will come back. But I just want you to mark that date, May 26, 2021. Write down the name, Merrick Garland. And keep an eye on, keep listening for that 25th Amendment thing. Okay? Because I honestly feel that, I'm going to tell you, they've already done it. Nobody knows about it. He doesn't know about it. They've already done it. In effect, he can't, no power, no decision. Mike Pence may be a suck up, but he's not a fool. That man's been in politics for quite a long time, and he has perfected the art of telling a lie with his face straight and butter not melting in his mouth. He's a professional, okay? That's who Mike Pence is. I can't stand him. He don't care, but I'm telling you, that man knows what's right and what's wrong. So ultimately, it may come down to the democracy being saved by somebody that nobody really likes, at least me. Okay? But whatever the case may be, that's the 20-day outlook, the 14 to 16-day outlook. What comes after this, I really don't know. I do feel that there's going to be another faction or a smaller faction of that same crew that showed up at the Capitol building that have some plans in the works for January 20th for the inauguration. And so keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears peeled. You guys got any questions about stuff? I was in the military, so I kind of know the way things work based upon what they taught me about the military, the Constitution, and how all those things are applied. It's almost like a civics test. And so you got any questions, you can come up underneath this video and post, and I'll do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. So I'm going to leave you with that. And then I'm going to get back to doing the rest of the January readings. So I will speak to you soon. Until next time, namaste.